Hello everyone, Ardy here from ProTradersNetwork.com, and today we're going to take a look at the EURUSD on the daily time frame as well as some of the news that's coming out related to the currency pair. Alright, so without further ado, let's go. EURUSD on the short-term outlook, basically we see that it is retracing within a downtrend, right? So this is a short-term outlook. On the medium term and the longer term, it is going to offer a different picture basically. So French President Macron has confirmed yesterday that earlier lockdown measures in parts of France, including Paris, will now be extended to other districts for 4 weeks. And Italy is also extending restrictions. So there's a cautious take on Euro's near-term outlook on COVID resurgence, which is a third wave in this case in Europe. And there is basically risk to economic recovery momentum being derailed. The policy divergence factor, well, ECB is now perceived to be more willing than other major central banks to do more, which means to say that it may be actually going to actually provide more stimulus as well as other quantitative easing strategies, which might affect the euro, of course, right? So at this point, when other major central banks are not doing well, they might not say it, but at this point they are actually not saying that they are going to do any more stimulus. But when you compare all the other central banks and ECB is actually perceived to be more willing to do more. So when this happens, basically, it's going to affect the euro and it's going to be bearish on the euro. But however, these are factors which we should bear in mind, but we should first of all consider what's happening on the charts, because that basically affects our bottom line as traders, and we would like to actually see that if it's in a downtrend, we will want to short. If it's in an uptrend, we of course would like to go long, right? So without further ado, let's take a look at the charts. So in front of us right now, we have the Euro USD on the daily time frame, right? So if we just zoom out from this chart, we can see that we are actually in an uptrend, right? From which started somewhere in March last year, and now it's a whole year of actually the pair actually moving on the upside. So this is a swing low, the next swing low, and we are now actually at a point where we might be actually, the chart might actually be crafting out another swing low. So if it is another swing low being formed around here, we could say that in the next couple of months, we might see EURUSD actually moving up. However, there is no confirmation yet on that. So we are now going to look at the shorter outlook for the Euro USD. So in that being the case, I'll just zoom in again. So what I've done here basically is I've actually drawn the slanting line that connects the top of this particular price movement, and I've also connected the line on the bottom side so that you could see that it's actually now trading within a downward channel, right? So if you actually take a look at price itself, once it's actually touched the bottom part of the channel, it tends to bounce up, right? So this is what happened on the 18th of January. It bounced out, retraced for a couple of days, about 4 or 5 days. And again, it happened on the 5th of February. And this time around, it was more than a week, basically. A couple of maybe 2 weeks or more. And here, on the 9th of March, we saw another retracement, which happened for about 3 days before it actually went sideways. And again now, after this down leg, we now see that it is again reacting and retracing from this point that has been created on the 31st of March. And we are at the beginning of this particular retrace or rebound. So where do you think price would be going, right, after touching this point here? Okay, so if it's going to go up, if the momentum is going to go up, we are going to see that, okay, I've drawn basically the Fibonacci retracement levels. The first level that price might go towards would be the 23.6 level, right? So that is somewhere around the 11854 level. And right now, price is at 11771. So we have about 80 pips of upside movement potential if it is going towards the 23.6 level. But do take note that the 200 EMA is here in XS dynamic resistance. So this is a level that the best might want to come in and push it lower, right? So I've drawn an arrow here. It might touch here and go lower, and from here even go lower towards this particular green line, which is the next support level. all right, around the 116 zone. All right. However, if let's say the bullish momentum continues higher and price decides to actually test the 38.2 level, which is at the 11948 level, then the next resistance that we might see besides this zone itself being a resistance is this it is also coinciding with the 100 exponential moving average, which acts as dynamic resistance, right? So, but on a shorter term outlook, basically, we have to consider that the first resistance level will be around the 23.6 level, which also coincides with this level, with this swing low actually, right? And also the 200 exponential moving average. Okay, so right now, Heiken Ashi is still in green. It's still green. Basically, it's still going down. In this case, basically, that's how I draw my charts, right? Because in a sideways market, I would like to enter on a long and sell on a short when it reaches the top and bottom boundaries. So this is how I actually used my charts, right? And you might be wondering what's at the bottom here. Basically, this is a fixed indicator and it measures volatility, right? So this is another indicator that I use in my strategy and something that I teach to my students in my courses, right? So this is my take on the Euro USD. Basically, it's retracing and we might be reaching certain levels where we might see some resistance. So do take note of all these things if you're trading the Euro dollar. And yeah, that's it. That's my analysis on this currency pair. And if you ever want to join us in our community, just go ahead and go to protradersnetwork.com, and from there you could actually click a button and join us in our community where we also cover other financial markets besides Forex. We also cover crypto, stocks, and commodities. Basically, mainly gold and silver, the precious metals, as well as other commodities like oil, right? So thank you for giving me attention, and hopefully we can look at other markets in the next video. And all the best to your trading. All right, take care.